morning, everybody, and happy Friday to you. Happy Fun Friday here on Project Joy Live. Super excited to have you here with us for the final episode. I'm so sad of our 90s Nostalgia Week as part of our Decade in Review series here on Project Joy Live for the month of June. I figured we would shake things up a little bit and take a little look back, even though as we're getting out of the 90s now. We're gonna next week gonna be going into the 2000s, followed by the 2010s. 2010s is like, okay, that wasn't that long ago, but it's amazing to me, truly, as we've gone through this series, how fast time has gone, and also how much I live in denial about how much time has passed. Okay, because I literally, my husband and I mentioned before, if you're new to the show. I moved back to the area that I grew up in July of last year. And so it's been a whole nostalgic trip down memory lane over here. But we passed, for those of you in Southeastern Connecticut, you know about Norwich State Hospital. Okay. And we passed there. And I'm saying to my husband, it blows my mind how much it's broken down, and it really didn't close all that long ago being the phrase there. Okay. And I would go and look it up, and it closed in the 90s. Okay. The 90s was a long ass time ago, you guys. But I'm just having this moment of like, it wasn't that long ago. And I do this all the time. So I'm both amazed by how fast time goes and a little like, I need to just have a nap and I might as well just buy my Depends and denture cream now is what I need to do. So with all of that, we have Danielle Valero back on the show with us today. We may have another guest as well. We will see as the time goes on, but it's Fun Friday. That means anything goes. And I would love to hear from you. Let me know what's bringing you joy today, where you're joining from, and what are some of your favorite things from the 90s. We're going to cover a bunch of things, that maybe we haven't talked about already this week, or expand on some things that we have. We also have national days coming up here for you, as well as birthdays. But with that, we are going to bring Miss Danielle on the screen with us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
We have matching hair today.
We do.
It's very cool. We could be the next. How many members of the Spice Girls were there? Were there 5 or 4?
5.
Okay, Baby Spice, Scary Spice,
Sporty Spice,
Posh
Spice.
So maybe 4 was it.
I think.
Where's Brittany this morning? Brittany, you're the Spice Girl aficionado. I don't know.
Ginger Spice.
There were 5. I knew. Okay. So if you were a Spice Girl, what would your Spice Girl name be?
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, I don't. Okay. If you're
Curvy Spice. I don't know.
Flirty Spice.
Curvy Spice.
Oh.
Sure, why not?
Well, as we were talking about a little throwback yesterday about the roller skating rink.
Yeah. Yes, that was a big deal.
It was a really big deal. We practically lived at the roller skating rink, and it was called Galaxy over here where we lived. Wasn't it something before that, or was it always Galaxy?
Wasn't it Skate Town USA at some point too? I do remember Galaxy and then Skate Town USA.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That it sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I was there for the glow bracelets and the little glow. We used to go to the they had a little like shop in there, and we would get the glow things. What else did we buy there? Like the snap bracelets. What else?
They had the little binkies, pacifiers, binkies, and we'd stick them in our mouths like we were babies and thought we were cool.
Why did we do this? Okay, because do you remember for Halloween and stuff in middle school, half the girls would be babies?
Yes.
Was it just easy, or why did we do that?
Because homemade, like you don't have to, I mean, the costumes weren't that great anyways back then. So like just think something up easy and do it yourself.
Hello, plastic masks that you can't breathe in. Like,
and they looked creepy.
They did. I was a Care Bear one year and it was disturbing. It really, like, the Care Bear face didn't look like what you see a Care Bear face today, but I remember suffocating is what happened. So back to the roller skating rink. I practically lived there on the weekends, and we were talking about this yesterday. We did the games and the dances, okay, on the skates. Okay, we had mad skills.
We did
back in the day. Okay.
Yes.
And we did the game shoot the duck.
Yes.
You get down real low, like okay, get ready, shoot the duck, and we get down real low, and you put one skate out.
So one leg was straight out.
Yep.
The other one bent. Yes.
And you had to go around in the circle.
Yes.
Still, while you were like that. And then the last one standing won the prize. Or not standing, but like, in that, like not falling over.
You had to have some really strong thighs.
I did then, not anymore.
Same.
When's the last time you went roller skating?
Oh, actually, right before the pandemic, I was going every Monday night religiously, every Monday night. Stop. I was even doing an aerobics class that you did with the skates too. Yeah.
Stop it right now. Where did you do that at?
So there's a skating rink over in Waterbury, next town over. So I would go over there. I don't even remember the name of it, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've been over there, but yeah.
So my daughter was in a pageant, and she ended up getting one of the prizes because the pageant was for like charity. And she won the prize for raising the most money, and she got a crown and everything else. And so when they would do activities, she would have to show up there in her crown or whatever. And they did skating. And my body is not 1990s-esque anymore. And since that time, I've had back surgery, had babies, like all of that. I tried to get on the skates. It wasn't happening. And I was so sad. This is so pathetic. I literally sat there and cried in the roller skating rink because that was such a huge part of our childhood. And I couldn't even stand up on the goddamn skates.
I have a funny story for you.
Okay.
So when my older kids, they're all like, I have 3 that are all adults now. It's disgusting. But when they were like little, I hadn't been skating in so long. And my daughter wanted to do her birthday at the skating rink. So we went, I got back on the skates, and I was like, oh, it's just like riding a bike again. I could do this, right? And I'm skating around until this little like 5-year-old boy decides right in front of me to just fall down. And I'm going full speed, and there's people all around me. I'm like, I am going to go right over him, and this is going to be bad. But there was a very tall man next to me, and all I saw was his big belt, and I just latched onto it, and he dragged me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, sir. But it was the only thing I could think to do from not running over the kid.
It was a flashback to when we were all, those moments when the slow songs would come on, and we would hold hands, and you just, who's the closest guy skating by? Thank you.
I'm sure this guy is like, what the heck?
Yeah, you were having a moment.
Yeah, it was quite embarrassing. I didn't go back out after that. I sat down and I was embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you there. Like, there's so many moments when like I was talking about before, how you just realize, oh, we're not still there anymore. We're not in that same time that we were in. So we love the roller skating rink. What else do we remember that we haven't really? Oh, so we were talking about how we were dancing on the skates as well. And there was a lot of dances that were popular in the 90s, beginning with the Macarena. we all had to, and there is a hilarious, I'm going to send it to you because I wish I would have thought about, and we probably would get, our video would get taken down anyway because copyright, but thanks YouTube. So there was a video, there's a comedian on Instagram that has, and I think he has even more followers on TikTok, but there was a remix done of the Macarena and like a Rob Zombie song, and it's hilarious. It is
really
so funny because you're like, oh, this fits. I don't know why it fits.
I don't know how.
It was really good. So the Macarena was one. Also, the Running Man. We had that.
Oh, yeah.
We had that on. I was okay at the Running Man. The Roger Rabbit.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Good one. That was a good one. The Tootsie Roll.
The Tootsie Roll.
Now, this is controversial. This is an educational program here, so we need to figure this out. Okay. The butterfly, there was the butterfly, and then there's a Tootsie Roll, and the Tootsie Roll mentions in the beginning, the butterfly, that's old, let me see the Tootsie Roll. But they look like the same damn dance.
Same. It's the same. I was looking and I saw that Tootsie Roll and Butterfly were both on there. I'm like, but they're the same thing. Am I crazy? Because I remember them being the same thing.
I do too, but this is what's really funny. So I went to the same place that described the cabbage picking dance.
Oh, no. No.
All right. The butterfly is described as a dance move that involved crossing the arms in front of the chest and opening out to the sides in a fluttering motion, imitating the wings of a butterfly.
That is so not true.
No.
Disagree.
And now this one makes a little more sense. The Tootsie Roll, inspired by the song Tootsie Roll by the group 69 Boys, this dance move featured a repetitive hip swinging motion with a slight twist of the knees. So that makes sense to me.
Right.
No one, as I recall, was just imagine
chicken dance. That's what that sounds like.
Surprisingly,
somebody was confused.
Chicken dance didn't make this look. Did you ever do the Carlton, Danielle?
No, absolutely not.
The Carlton was popularized by the character Carlton Banks, played by Alfonso Ribeiro, on the TV show Prince of Bel-Air. It featured swinging arms, side-to-side hip movements, and enthusiastic.
I can't do that. Can't even. Oh, there you go. You got it.
I can do the top part.
You got to do the whole smile too.
But the bottom, see, my feet never quite did what it was supposed to do with that. I couldn't get the top and the bottom to work correctly. So it looks cute here on the screen, but not so much if you were to see the entire, this is what we would not be doing. It would be not cute anymore. Also, this was a big one, the hammer dance. The hammer dance, okay, it was associated with the hip hop artist MC Hammer. This dance moves involved exaggerated arm. Now, see, I don't remember exaggerated arm movements, but I remember the side to side shuffling, and
yes,
in a low squat, like
he did a lot of Running Man too.
Yes, he did.
He definitely did a lot of that.
I don't recall this being, I don't know if you remember this or not. So this dance is called the snake. And when I think of the snake, I don't know why I automatically go to the worm where people are on the floor doing this. But apparently the snake was made famous by the artist Genuine in his video for the song Pony.
I'm sorry.
The
I just saw a recent video of him. He's older now, and he just couldn't do the moves anymore.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's very
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
The dance move involved bending backward from the waist, allowing the upper body to arch and flow like a snake motion. I've never heard it as a snake before, though. Have you? Because
No, my mind went straight to the worm when you said it too.
Yeah,
That's
and
just
then,
where my brain went.
And then when I hear pony, my mind goes straight to Magic Mike, and I can't focus anymore.
I could see that for sure. That's good. Good.
Though while we mention that, I watched the most recent one, and it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, I appreciate the scenery in the movie, but
scenery. Is that what we're gonna call it?
That's what we call it. We
That's
appreciate
what we can call it. Yeah.
We appreciate the scenery in the movie, but I get it with the, when people like the series, they like the full box set, the thing to come to an end, but it was poor. It was poor.
I couldn't even get through the first one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's a little.
I don't know if it was the acting or the storyline or maybe a combination, but somewhere halfway through, I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch this anymore.
I mean, let's be honest. The majority of women are not watching it for a good story.
Exactly.
So there's that. While we're talking about, we talked a little bit about, it was funny because at the end of the show yesterday, Danielle and I were talking about something and she's like, whatever. And I'm like, we carried that phrase over from the 90s quite a bit. Whatever, it was a pretty big phrase. Also, as if originated from the movie Clueless, where it was popularized by the character Cher, played by Alicia Silverstone. The phrase became synonymous with the Valley Girl culture at the time. Did you? I mean, I may have said that a couple times. I don't think it was at the top of my 90s phrases list. What about you?
No.
Yeah. It wasn't for me either.
And it did not carry over either.
Yeah, I don't say that at all now. One of the things I have been known to say occasionally, just because it annoys my children and takes them back to a nostalgic time, is talk to the hand. And that phrase was popularized by the comedian Chris Tucker in the film Friday in 95. And then this is a funny part. So do you remember the phrase that came off of talk to the hand? Because there was talk to the hand because the face don't want to hear it. And then do you remember another one?
Talk to the hand because the face ain't listening.
There was that. And then
there's more.
Yeah. And I don't know where this came from. They talk to the wrist because the face is pissed.
Oh, okay. I like it.
I don't have it. That one was not on the list, but I'm
going to use that now. Totally going to use that. I like it.
The phrase "don't go there" gained popularity in the 1990s. And nobody really knows where that one came from.
Or where you were going.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are we going? Don't go there. Where? I don't
go
know.
there.
Do you remember the phrase "I'm king of the world" and where that came from? We talked about a very popular movie that came out in 97 with the song that never stopped playing by Celine Dion.
Oh, where they were on the ship.
Yep.
The Titanic.
Yep, there you go.
I thought that, but I didn't realize it was in the 90s. Why did I not think that it was in wow.
It was 97.
Holy 97. Wow.
The phrase "you go girl," it was coined by the character Pam in the TV show Martin. Speaking of which, Martin was on from 92 to 97. I loved that show.
Yeah, I was a fan of Shaniqua.
Yeah.
The nails.
And then we had "What's Up" and "What's Up."
What's up?
Fun fact, you can go see in my video announcement of our 90s Nostalgia Week. I had to cut that because I was dying. I was dying laughing.
I was dying when I saw it. Like, I was in tears laughing. That was hilarious.
I love it. It was popularized by the Budweiser Frogs commercial, and then the "Was Up" came with the commercial that began airing in 99. That was a lot of characters who were answering the phone and saying "Was up" to their friends. That came from. "You the Man" was something that started being said, particularly in sports culture in the 90s. "Getting Jiggy with It," coined by Will Smith in his
of course
song, "Getting Jiggy with It." And then another phrase that people started saying often, thanks to a show that premiered in 97, South Park. "Oh my God, they killed Kenny." You want a little funny flashback? So those are some of the top phrases from the night. Are there any others that you remember? I thought I had another list that had a couple.
Well, the bomb. I have that under my name today.
I love it. And "All That in a Bag of Chips." It's not on there.
Or "You're bugging."
Yeah. Yep. Bugging.
No duh.
No duh.
No
yes.
duh.
That was another one too. That was a whole vibe. Okay, what else we have foods to talk about among some other things that haven't get mentioned, but we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back after this with finishing up our 90s Nostalgia Week here on Project Joy Live. Don't go anywhere.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. It is Friday, June 16th, 2023. I'm your host, Jessica Tugas, here with Danielle Valero this morning, who's the bomb, and I am all that and a bag of chips. I hope you've been enjoying this 90s Nostalgia Week as part of our Decade in Review here on Project Joy Live. I've been enjoying the little nostalgic throwback, and we are actually going to finish off this nostalgic week with a party tonight, are we not?
Yes, we are.
It's going to be a whole vibe. We are going to see a band called Bon Journey that is playing at Ocean Beach Park in New London, Connecticut. So if you are in this area, come hang out down there. It's going to be fun. They do all cover songs from Bon Jovi and Journey, which were both pretty big deals in the 90s, but oddly enough didn't really get brought up a whole lot in our music talk on Wednesday. I think it was interesting because Farhan and I were talking about how there were so many different genres of music that were front and center in the 90s, from grunge to rock to hip hop to, and there wasn't really, I don't recall there being a lot of competing. There was competing within the individual genre spaces, but there wasn't like, don't listen, like there wasn't like Pearl Jam going, don't listen to Tupac.
No. We did not discriminate with the music back then. Like everything, we were listening to everything.
Yeah.
Like everybody was listening to everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. And I think it really, so like, I don't know how you grew up. When I grew up, my mom was really into like the Guess Who, Elton John, Cat Stevens. Like I grew up listening to a lot of older things. And then my grandparents that I grew up with were into like a lot of the old, the musicals, things like that. So I already had like a pretty eclectic mix of things that I liked, but I feel like the 90s music really like encouraged us that it was okay to like a bunch of things. And I listened to like my playlist from that time, and it was a lot of different things, and
all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, we go from like, like I said, Pearl Jam to Tupac, and there's no, like, nobody's mad about it.
No,
nobody's mad about it. So while we were listening to music, we were snacking on some things. And there was a few different things that were very popular at that time that became really popular. First thing is Dunkaroos. Dunkaroos. These snack packs consisted of cookies in a small container of frosting for dipping. They were introduced in the early 90s and were immensely popular among kids. And they're got like a resurgence now because there was a giant bin of them up by the register at Big Y when I was there. And fun fact, the I believe it's is it the chocolate ones? One of them is accidentally vegan, for those of you that
accidentally.
Yes, those of you that are like, they're not marked vegan, but they're accidentally, so for those of you veg folks out there, just FYI, you can be a little nostalgic too. Also, fruit roll-ups, and we talked about this in the 80s, but that continued into the 90s, and with the introduction as well of Gushers. The fruit snacks with the liquid center that gushed when bitten into. I feel like, have you had Gushers recently?
I have not.
They are not, I don't feel like, as filled as they used to be.
I'm sure they're not.
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed this. Nothing's like it used to be, but the Gushers had liquid in the center, and everybody loved those. I remember going to the ice cream truck all the time as a kid and getting the candies and what was your favorite thing from the ice cream truck?
I would say like candies.
Well, either candies or ice creams.
Screwball.
I would get that too. But the gum was so nasty at the bottom. Like the
it didn't really have flavor.
There wasn't. And it was cold and hard.
It was. But we loved it for some reason.
I was just wondering if you had an answer to why we loved it so much.
I have no idea, but it was my favorite. That was my go-to. I mean, I had other stuff I would have now and then, but that was my go-to.
Yeah.
That Now and Later's.
Yep.
Is it like the lemon heads they had? Lemon heads. I was into the lemon heads. Yeah.
Everybody bought a lot the candy cigarettes. And again, another thing that tasted like chalk, but
yeah, it did. Ugh.
Why? I don't know. Pop Rocks. People got often. And then another thing that was really popular ice cream wise was the firecracker, the red, white, and blue ice cream that the Bomb Pop is what I think we would, they were bigger than just the thin ones. I'm going to stop this conversation because
well, there was a popsicle too. Wasn't it called Lick-a-Color?
I think so.
Or we called it that, but whereas as you licked it and sucked it, it would change color.
Yes.
It had layers.
It did. And I remember too, I'm surprised that in our conversations in the 80s as well, that the Tootsie Pop wasn't talked about as often, because I feel like the Tootsie Pop and then the Blow Pop people, because remember the little owl on the commercial that would say, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
The world may never know.
No one knows. I remember trying and being like, how many, trying to like keep track. And then I just got bored and bit it.
And that's why the world will never know.
That's why, because you get burnt out.
And then you just bite because you're over it.
That's it. We talked about a couple of these in coming at the end of the 80s into the 90s at Capri Sun. I still have trouble getting the straw into the Capri Sun today. And the High C Ecto Cooler, based on the Ghostbusters, continued from the 80s into the 90s as well. That green, what is it in there? I have no idea, but people loved it. Also, Jolt Cola, known for its high caffeine content, Jolt Cola was marketed as a high energy alternative to other soft drinks. It gained popularity in the 90s as a choice for those seeking an extra caffeine kick. I never drank Jolt.
Me either.
I didn't need help. Okay, what else I was trying to think of some other things that we hadn't really talked about. But I think we did a good idea. There was a lot of, we didn't really talk a whole lot on Wednesday about Saturday morning cartoons, because Ferran, that was on the show, was in his 20s at that time and in the military. So he wasn't doing the Saturday morning cartoons, but that was a pretty big deal for us. Did you end up going and listening to the Saturday morning slow jams?
No.
I need to send it to you.
You got to send it because I forget.
I'm going to make a note and send them to you, because that it will make your entire, and I told Ferran even to go listen to them, even though he wasn't, like, he was watching cartoons when it was still just like Bugs Bunny and whatnot.
Oh.
So that was back in his time. But we had, the Muppet Babies and what else? Sailor Moon and Pokemon and My Little Pony Strawberry Shortcake, Rainbow Bright. I loved some Rainbow Bright. How many times did we see Rainbow Bright at Halloween growing up?
Too many.
A lot.
Too many.
A lot. Weren't you? I think I remember you. I might be mixing up Rainbow Bright and Punky Brewster, but you were one of those, I think, at some point.
I'm sure I was. Unless I have a picture, I don't remember.
I need to go through my photos a little bit more and see, because I found the rest of my photos in the garage the other day. And so I need to start going through those, because there was a lot. There was a lot there. I'm peeking really quick to see. I have a couple Halloween ones here, but I was a witch and a clown.
A clown?
Yeah. My mom sewed, and so she made this clown outfit that was using Halloween fabric. So it was kind of cute because it was like a Halloween clown. Yeah, I don't know what year that was, but it was a long ass time ago.
I was a gypsy one year.
Yeah, I think I was too. That was what else was super popular then?
Minnie Mouse or Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Trying to think of what else. But I remember going from, first of all, there was not this BS of having Halloween on a different day as of Halloween. Okay. There was not that. You went to Halloween if it was on a Tuesday, and then your ass had to get up on Wednesday. It didn't matter if it was a school day. You had to get up and go to school on a Wednesday. There was no whining from the teachers about the kids being hyped up on the sugar. you had Halloween on the day it was on, first of all.
Absolutely.
Second, there wasn't this Halloween is from 5 to 7 p.m. There wasn't any of that. You got out of school, you went home, you put the costume on, and you left. You got your pillowcase and you left the house. Okay.
That's
and
true.
we went from Boardson to Soundbreeze to Brantford to Colonial Manor, and then somebody picked us up and we went to Navy Housing. And
always Navy housing had to be a part of it.
And we had pillowcases.
Yes.
Full of candy. My kids went down the street here this last Halloween, probably 10 houses. By the time they were done, Halloween was almost over, the set time. They were over, and they were over it. It is not like it used to be.
It's not. And it disgusts me because almost every year that I take my son trick-or-treating, nobody has their lights on. Like, we would go past 8 houses before somebody had their light on. I'm like, nobody wants to do this anymore.
Right. Well, they started doing, do you remember when they would have the Halloween things at the municipal building?
Yes.
So that was fun when they would do that there, but I don't recall that being like, I don't remember if it was on Halloween or if they would just do it near Halloween.
I think it might have been on Halloween, but you weren't going to get a whole lot of candy. I mean, you'd get a little bit, but not as much as if you went out door to door.
Right.
So if you just did that, you got a little bit of candy.
Right. But there was still, like, even if a bunch of people went to the municipal building, there was still like a whole bunch of people out trick-or-treating. I mean, there's a lot of people in this area anyway. Yeah. But it blows my mind because I guess there's more of those municipal building type things now where like churches are doing like the trunk or treat and all of that stuff. Everybody's got all of these activities. Then they've limited the time. Then they've changed the day. And I just feel like all of that, nobody has any fun anymore, Danielle, and it makes me sad.
It makes me sad. I agree.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. So if you could, name one thing that you would bring back from the 90s if you could, and name one thing that you hope stays there.
I would love to bring the music and the people like Aaliyah. I would love to bring her back. I would love her to be here singing. What can stay there? The whole bang thing can stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every now and then I do bangs and I enjoy them, but I hope that the big with
yes,
with hairspray,
that can stay there.
That can stay there, absolutely. I would say definitely like music and just like I guess the priority, and this was really in 80s and 90s for me, the priority we had before social media became a thing, where we were actually social, like in person. And there wasn't a whole bunch of excuses as to why people couldn't get together. And like, we just did. And it was part of what we did. Danielle and I were talking about how, we used to, in Brantford Manor, we used to block off the parking lots, and everybody would bring out their little cheap grills and the pools, and everybody bring out the ices, the little popsicles, and everybody would be out there hanging out, and people just don't do that anymore. And it just makes me so sad. Like, I would bring all of that back, have us all take these, set them down, and enjoy each other.
Absolutely.
What I would leave there, probably there's some fashion things I would leave there. I don't know. Because so much of the 90s, I feel like I've made an honest effort to try to carry over.
It's true though. Yeah. Because it was all so good.
I know. It was good times. And I wonder, sometimes I get to thinking about, was it good times because I was not yet an adult? Like, and we didn't have, like, you know, the big responsibilities, but then we really did. Like, I remember, because you graduated 99 too, right?
Yes.
So we graduated 99, and there was a huge thing then of people thinking the world was going to come to an end in 2000. Like, I remember people making a really big deal out of this. And so we graduated and everything. And I remember that time because the internet was really ramping up about that time. And it just felt like time was going so fast, like 99 into 2000. And I think we'll get into that as we jump into our series next week, Y2K Rewind, and talk about 2000 through 2009, which should be an interesting, big shifts in things during that time for sure. We start to leave a lot of this neon and floppy disks and cassette tapes and things behind, and makes my little heart sad.
Aww.
It does. But like I said, we are going to have a good time tonight, closing up this 80s and 90s series. I couldn't have planned this better. Thanks, Ocean Beach, for
That's right.
for putting the band out there. And I will be sure, even though we are going to set the phones down and have a good time, I will be sure to get some pictures and videos as well. And I will show them to you guys on Monday when we come back on the show. Really quickly, let's talk about a couple of national days and then get into our birthdays. So in the world of national days, it is World Sea Turtle Day today. It highlights the importance of sea turtles. The day also encourages global supporters to dive into the threats that sea turtles face. And apparently, sea turtles have been on the earth for over 100 million years. So that's a long time for one species, for sure. So happy World Sea Turtle Day today. It's also Wear Blue Day, apparently. Royal fail on my part, but it always happens the Friday before Father's Day. Men's health is the focus of Wear Blue Day. By wearing blue, you are saying you support the men in your life to lead a healthy lifestyle and you care about their well-being. So to all the men out there, happy Wear Blue Day, and to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day coming up on Sunday as well. Are you guys going to do anything special on Friday or Sunday?
Yes. I was racking my brain trying to figure out what to do, but finally figured out I'm going to go to like a vineyard. They're having like a picnic thing and a food truck, and then maybe go bowling after, because that's the stuff he likes. So
that's very nice. That'll be awesome. I don't know. I have no idea what we're going to do. We're going out tonight.
Sorry.
But we'll obviously be doing something with the kids, and then, you know, we're moving. So there's a lot of that happening this weekend, packing and things that are not really fun. But, you know, dads are sometimes good for moving the big things and moving things that we don't necessarily want to. So,
absolutely.
It's also National Fudge Day today. Do you like fudge?
No.
Really?
Maybe if I have a little nibble, but it's just so strong and so sugary.
It's rich.
I'm not a sweet. I don't like sweet. I'm more like salty.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I tend to like the fudge that is more like has a little bit of that salty in it, like a peanut butter fudge, or something that's like, you know, like some of the nutty fudge that's rolled into like a sweet and salty. I enjoy that a little bit more. The straight like milk chocolate is a little much for me as well. But it is National Fudge Day. So if you needed permission to eat all the fudge today, here's your permission slip for that. Also, we got to talk about birthdays today. And like, I find it really interesting that we're talking about this stuff this week. Today is actually Tupac Shakur's birthday, who passed in 1996. But you know, tying into our 90s week this week. Also, another famous name that we talked about a lot in the 90s, because we didn't even touch on how big wrestling was at the time. When we had WWF, now it still has its own cult following, but I feel like everybody kind of knew about wrestling in the 90s. WWF. Today is actually, he passed away in 2014, but it's the Ultimate Warrior's birthday.
Oh.
So, and then another name from the 90s who played the sister in the show Roseanne, Laurie Metcalf, has a birthday today. Roseanne was another show that we didn't talk about, but that was a big thing. And sitcoms in general, TGIF, Boy Meets World, I'm having a moment now.
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek.
That was one for me.
We talked
Saved
about
by the Bell.
No, Saved by the Bell, Melrose Place. And what is wrong with me? Because with Urkel.
Family Ties? No.
Family Matters.
Family Matters. It was Family something.
Step by Step. And by the way, so funny. I rewatched Step by Step recently, and when I rewatch something, I go down the rabbit hole of where are they now? I want the dirt behind the scenes, all of that stuff. There was so much drama behind the scenes of Step by Step. I had no idea.
What?
But if you want to go down a rabbit hole, go ahead. Go ahead with that one. But Step by Step, but TGIF every Friday night, that was like the place to be on ABC with all of those incredible shows. And so, yeah, that was so I was thinking about that too, as I saw the Laurie Metcalf's birthday from Roseanne as well. Celebrities in my life, Susan K. Dahl has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Susan. Breakthrough Show Network alumni Jess Neary has a birthday today. She's also my personal feng shui consultant. Happy birthday, Jess. And also my cousin Brian Smith has a birthday today. So happy birthday, Brian. And with that, let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tupac Shakur, the Ultimate Warrior, Laurie Metcalf, Susan K. Dahl, Jess Neary, and Brian Smith. Happy birthday to you. Birthday to all those that are celebrating today, and I hope you guys dance along to that like we do behind the scenes, because that's just what we do for the intro and the outro. I hope you guys are set up to have an amazing weekend. I hope you enjoyed our 90s nostalgia week this week. Next week, we have our Y2K rewind, talking about the years 2000 through 2009 here on Project Joy Live. We also have spirit sessions coming up at 12 p.m. on Sunday. We have an all-new episode of My Way with special guest Haley Halleck coming up on Tuesday at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time. At 10 a.m. on Wednesday, we have Declutter for Change Live with Miss Heather Clark. And then on Friday, we have an all-new episode of One with Hannah Donji. So make sure you guys check that out at 6 p.m. next Friday. Miss Danielle, thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And I will see you tonight, and I'm going to show you, we're going to have pictures and whatnot to show you on Monday. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And I will see you guys next week. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. See you next time. Bye, everybody.